This is the inaugural edition of Sam's Jeep Packing. First, a definition of just what is Jeep packing. Well, to me, Jeep packing is it's a hybrid between backpacking and car camping, with the benefits of both. So what I've done is I've used the contents of my backpack and just threw them in the back of my Jeep Wrangler and drove to a spot that only a four-wheel drive vehicle could get to without having to hike to it. Plus, I've added to that any kind of creature comforts which would be too heavy to bring, when you're backpacking, which you bring with you when you're car camping or you're camping with a travel trailer. So that's my definition of what Jeep packing is. So what does one need for Jeep packing? Well, first, you need a Jeep. So here's my 2015 Jeep Wrangler 2-door Sport hardtop, and it has hybrid on-road, off-road tires. First, the environment. I came up to Saddle Mountain, Bureau of Land Management. It's south of Tonopah in Arizona. And here's the Saddle Mountain layout. You see there's some low volcanic producing mountains from eons ago. Looking toward the south now. Now looking toward the west. Very comfortable out here right now. It's in mid-January 2017. And it's about 62, 63 degrees. There's no clouds. I mean, well, yes, it is cloudy, but hardly any wind at all. It's actually calm. It was predicted to be rain today, but it hasn't happened yet. And as the day wears on, there'll be less and less of a chance of that. So there shouldn't be any rain, tonight out here. So next up, I'm going to show you what I brought on this Jeep packing trip and how I'm going to use them. So here's the equipment that I brought with me. Some of it is contained in this little Jeep Wrangler compartment, which holds loose items in there, and it makes for a quite handy carrying compartment for all the loose items to go backpacking with, in this case Jeep packing with. Now in this compartment I have various items here. In this bag I have 6 little water bottles here, and I have an axe for wood cutting. I have a propane tank here, and this is for my cooking. And since I'm Jeep packing, I can actually bring this along. I usually use this on my travel trailer trips. And I'll show you how that goes with the 1 burner stove in a minute. The thermos of real hot water, 4 cups. And what that's going to be used for is this next item that I'm going to show you. And that's this hot water bottle. And this holds 2 cups of water. So tonight I'm going to boil up some water on my 1 burner stove, and I'm going to fill it up with this funnel. There, see, it comes out like that. Fill it up right before I go to bed. And then I'll put that into my sleeping bag. And test at home on the kitchen counter after I've filled it up. Yeah, this gets really hot on the outside because it's not insulated. So it's perfect for a water bottle in a sleeping bag. But after 2 hours of sitting on the counter, it wasn't hot or even that warm anymore. So this is why I brought more hot water in here, which I boiled up this morning before I came out here. And on a test yesterday, this stayed hot for 24 hours. So during the night, if it gets cold, I just refill it up again with this funnel from this thermos. Just pour it in there. Goes gold after that. Put it in my sleeping bag. Here are some, most of this is like backpacking items, and they're like plastic silverware and some paper napkins and some little alcohol-based cleaning cloths and matches, and I got some iced tea, no, well, not iced tea, but tea bags, salt and pepper, and car camping kind of matches, you know. Which I'll use these for lighting the one burner propane stove with. Further, I've got fire building kit here. Clothes lint from the clothes dryer. This takes a spark really easy. And I have, you can see it in there, the flint striker and the magnesium bar. I'm not going to be scraping off magnesium flakes. I'll just use the flint end here with my pocket knife. Get a nice good spark, and it takes this off really good. So that's my fire building for the fire ring later this afternoon. And for tonight, all familiar to all of you who go backpacking, or if you're in the Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts or whatever. And just a little pot I can boil up water for my freeze-dried, you know, backpacking meals. Little cup there for measuring water. And he's a 1-cupper. Classic metal camping drinking cup. I'll use that for tea this afternoon and for coffee in the morning. Also brought with me these various assorted little bungee cords, which I always bring with me when I go real backpacking, in case I have a need for them. The next thing I want to show you is this is not, of course, a backpacking flashlight. This would be for car camping. But on this, I can actually bring it with me. So, here it goes. Use that for around the campsite tonight. Here's one end of the 1-burner propane stove. The propane tank just screws into the bottom there. That's the base of the propane tank. And I'll get to the contents of this bag in a minute. Poncho, in case I need it. It also has other uses too. And some little lights here for the tent. They got little clippies on them, so you clip them on so you can see them in the dark out here. I'll use these tonight. Make sure they work. Yep. Okay. Ready in. Yep. Okay. They work. Creature comforts. This is what I was talking about earlier, which makes this a Jeep packing as opposed to a backpacking. There is one content in here which would be used for backpacking, and that's this headlamp. I'll use this also while I'm walking around. Had this for a very long time. There it goes, whoa! Lay him to the side. Now here are all of my sundry items here. This is a cell phone, but it's not used as a cell phone anymore. It's a Samsung small size. I have a larger Z-Max smartphone. But this can't be used for a phone or for receiving or sending text messages, but it can do everything else. And if you have like, if you're in someone's Wi-Fi network like in my home, then it can still be used, you know, and connected to the internet for other things. But the thing I'm going to be using it for on this trip is as a music player. I've loaded a bunch of MP3 files on here, so I'll listen to them in conjunction with this Bluetooth portable speaker here. Turn this on, pairs with this, play my music, and I've got some over-the-air music here. Now why do I bring this with me, this speaker with me? Well, that's because even though I did bring these headphones, and they'll be used for tonight while I'm watching videos on my smartphone. But you know, I don't like using headphones while I'm outside, when I'm out in the wilderness, because that isolates me from everything that's going on. I would rather use a speaker like this so I can still stay, excuse the word, connected to the environment around me. And to keep these devices charged up, I have this 22,000 milliamp hour charger. It's fully charged. Now this bag has my food for today and tomorrow morning. Take a look at that. First, snacks. Little jerky things, tender bites. Another snack. I don't know how good this is going to be, but I'm going to try it. It's a freeze-dried ice cream sandwich. So let's find out how that's going to be, you know, later on today. For dinner tonight, chili macaroni and beef, freeze-dried. You just put some boiling water in there, wait for a while, and just eat it right out of the pouch. And for tomorrow morning's breakfast, granola with milk and blueberries. Add water, and of course you don't heat this one up, you just let it sit for a while, and then you eat it like cold cereal. Yeah. And for keeping my hands and face clean, I got these little wet ones here, 20 in the pack. Also brought some spare clothes in this vacuum bag here. I'll probably use one of these tonight while I'm in the sleeping bag. And I've got like spares of underwear and socks in here too, in case I need it. So that's the contents of that compartment. And I've got other things as well, so let's take a look at them. One is I have a day backpack back in here. You can see it. It's blue, and it has a emergency kit, well, first aid kit actually, and some little nose tissues for when I go hiking today. Now, first thing we have to do after I do all this, and that's establish shelter. So I have that. And here's a Coleman backpacking tent I've had for a long time. And it would usually go in a backpack. So I'm going to be using it here today. It weighs a few pounds. There are better solutions for backpacking with, but they were a little bit too beyond my price range years ago when I was getting into backpacking. And back in there, if you can see them, is I've got like a light 3-season sleeping bag, and I got a sleeping pad, which was at one time maybe a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, but it's been compressed for years along with the sleeping bag. So we'll see how good they are now.